Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I know I switched it up on you guys. I have my natural hair in a ponytail because I'm getting my hair done soon. This is day 1 of my 3 days of shy. This is basically gonna be 3 days until my birthday. We're gonna go into my concealers. I'm gonna do a concealer ranking and then I'm gonna attempt to declutter. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Let's guess how many concealers I have. Go ahead and put in the comments how many concealers you think I have, okay? Like how many brands of concealers you think I have, and then how many total concealers you think I have. I'm gonna wait. Did you guess? I have 13 different brands of concealers, but in total, I have 24 concealers, okay? That is insane. I do own multiple shades of different concealers, so we're gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna go from, the bottom of concealers to the top. So let's go ahead and start with the last concealer. So in 13th place, I picked this concealer because my boo raved about this concealer, okay? My friend Tatanisha raved about this concealer and it looked amazing on her. Now, I have oily skin, okay? But I do like a hydrating concealer. This concealer is very much hydrating, but I just don't like this concealer. And this is going to be the Winky Lux Full Coverage Under Eye Concealer, and I picked up the shade Medium Deep. I first realized that I don't like that it is a squeeze tube. I thought that I wouldn't care about that and that I, would try to use a brush. And honestly, this coverage does not give for me. It says full coverage concealer, full coverage wear. Yeah, I don't recommend her, okay? She did not work for me. If you love this concealer, that's great, good for you. She did not work for me, so I'm actually going to declutter her. In 12th place, I have the Jaclyn Cosmetics concealer, and I have 2 shades. I have Tan Deep Golden and Medium Golden. When I first got this concealer, I only had this really light shade, and so I mixed it with one of my go-to concealers, and using it that way didn't give me any issue at all. So I actually liked it. But then when I tried it both on its own with, no mixer or anything, I definitely saw that it creased. It just made my under eyes look horrendous, okay? And it's so matte, okay? And it really just enhanced the fine lines underneath my eyes, and I'm not trying to, have that more enhanced than what it needs to be. But these are what the shades look like if you were interested in this concealer. I dislike this for underneath the eyes, but I actually like it to clean up the brows. But I'm gonna put her in the maybe pile. The next place in line is going to be the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Concealer, and this is in the shade 370. Now, this concealer has coverage, okay? But you definitely have to build it up. And honestly, I don't really like the texture of the concealer. It's definitely more whipped and moussey, and it's just thick. The applicator looks like this, and it's just a little small, and it's kind of too much work for me. I'm sorry. I guess I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to that. So you'll notice with my ranking that I like a certain type of applicator, if you will. And so she's just a little small for me. The formula, it's okay. But I would also use this to clean up the brows, not necessarily underneath the eyes. But the color is really pretty. This is the Fenty Beauty Concealer. She's really pretty. And she's more of a satin matte underneath the eyes, which I also don't mind. She's okay. She can get the job done, but it's just gonna take a little bit of work, and I'm not trying to do all that, okay? So she's gonna go because I actually think that I've had this concealer for quite some time. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter her. So in 10th place, I have the Sephora collection. This is the Gel Serum Concealers. And as you can see, I have 3 different shades. Okay, I have a darker shade, a lighter shade, and then an extremely light shade. So I actually like this concealer, but it's giving Maybelline Fit Me with just a little bit more coverage. And again, with the applicator, it's very small, so it doesn't deposit as much product. But the formula is really nice. I actually really like this formula. You just gotta work. You gotta build it up. You gotta let it dry down. And I'm not trying to do that all the time, but I picked up the shades Dolce de Leche, Pecan Pie, and the last shade I picked up is called Tatin or Tatin. I don't know. The formula is not the problem. It's just the amount of coverage is not really there for me. But these are the shades. As you can see the hydration in the concealer. So it's very nice on the skin. It feels refreshing, but it's okay. I would recommend, like, if you're more of a natural girl and you just need like a little bit of concealer, then I would recommend that for you. But if you're into like full glam, this is not that girl. And for me, I really only do full glam. I rarely will do like an everyday minimal like makeup, because for me, I'm either gonna go all out or I'm not gonna wear makeup. So that's just me. Am I gonna declutter these? I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile just because I have 3 of them. Actually, no, I'm gonna put on my big girl panties because I can't keep all of them. These concealers are overflowing in my container, so I'm gonna get rid of these. I'm going to declutter these concealers. In 9th place, we have the infamous, okay, Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Sculpting Concealer, okay? And a lot of people love this concealer. I like it, okay? It gives good coverage. It looks nice underneath the eyes. It's just okay for me. And honestly, this is the shade Mahogany. It's just a little too warm for me, and I just don't gravitate for this. It's just really big and chunky in my collection. I think this is like the biggest concealer I have in my collection, and I just don't gravitate towards this. But this is the applicator. It's like a triangle shape, and it's a daddy doe foot. It's huge, okay? And so it really gets underneath your eyes and gives you the coverage. I just don't reach for this, and I've had it in my collection for a while. So I'm gonna get rid of this. And this is Mahogany. So as you can see, it's not as hydrating as the other concealers. There's like, it's more satin, so it's okay. In 8th place, we have a drugstore concealer, and that is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Concealer. I have the shade 385 Amber, and as you can tell, she's very light. This concealer also has a very thick wand, okay? She real thick over here. Honestly, This is what she looks like. This is a really nice highlight shade for me. I just don't reach for her. I'm such a creature of habit that I just use the concealers that I love, okay? And so this is still new to me, so I'm going to keep this. So this is like the official like concealer I'm actually going to keep. So for 7th place, this might actually shock you, but I had to put this concealer in here because I had to take away some points, and that is going to be the One Size Turn Up the Base concealer, okay? It just hurts me that this is in 7th place because I love most of Patrick Starr's makeup line. This concealer has amazing coverage. The coverage is there, the applicator is there. It's just the packaging for me, it's a little bit messy, and then it dries a little too fast for me. I have the shades dark 3G and then medium dark 4. So when I open it, like it's just very like messy and it picks out a lot of product, which I'm not mad at, but I don't need that much product. And as you can tell, this concealer is loaded with product and it just like spills out a little bit. So it's really the packaging and that it dries a little too fast on why it's number 7, but I love the coverage that it gives. My under eyes do look good, but you cannot let this sit for too long at all. I love her enough to keep her. So I'm going to keep this concealer. So in 6th place, we have the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Radiance Concealer. And I do like this concealer. It is nice. It's nice and hydrating underneath the eyes. The shade range is bomb. But it's the applicator, baby. I picked up the shades Rich 30 and Tan 24. And like the Sephora Gel Serum Concealer, it is thinner. You don't get as much product. You can build it, which can be good and bad. You can control it. It's really an all-around good concealer. I just wish the applicator was just a little bit bigger, but this is definitely a more hydrating concealer. As you can see, it has a nice glow to it and it sets so nicely with powder. When I bake, I don't have any issues. With the One Size concealer, I don't really need to bake. I can just set it and let it, and it's fine. With that being said, I'm also going to keep this concealer. For 5th place, I am giving it to the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue concealer, okay? She look a little short, but she has really good coverage. She's thick and she gives the coverage, okay? And it has a great shade range as well. I picked up the shades Dark 22 and 14 Light Medium. Now, the only thing with these concealers is that they do oxidize, so that's why they're in 5th place. But other than that, it's a all-around really good concealer. You do get a little bit more playtime with this concealer than the One Size concealer. And this is what the applicator looks like. She's really nice and thick. The container's not messy. It doesn't distribute too much product and it sits really nice on the applicator. This concealer definitely has a more like velvety, like lightweight feel, but she's definitely a full coverage concealer. And this is Dark 22 and 14 Light Medium. I do have to use these together because Dark 22 just blends into my skin tone and it really doesn't give me any brightness. And clearly this is way too light. So mixing them gives me the perfect color for me. So with that being said, I'm also going to keep this. So in 4th place, we do have a drugstore concealer, okay? And that is going to be the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer, okay? This concealer is so good. It's so affordable. It's only, I believe, like $6. This concealer is very affordable. It has the range and it's really nice underneath the skin. This was like the first like hydrating concealer I actually tried, and it gave me everything that I needed. It set really beautifully with powder, and she is also thick, okay? This is what the wand looks like. Very similar to the Dose of Colors, just a little bit thicker. And the formula is very like comfortable underneath the eyes. It's super lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy underneath the eyes. The Dose of Colors, it does have a thicker, heavier consistency, but this definitely feels a lot more lightweight. I picked up the shades Deep Chestnut and Medium Warm, and I love Medium Warm to really brighten up my under eye. So I love this shade. And this is Deep Chestnut and Medium Warm. So as you can see, she's very yellow, so she's perfect for brightening up the under eye. But I've had this concealer for quite some time, so it's time to get rid of it, okay? It's time to part ways, even though I really do like this concealer. That's Minnie in the background. She's being nosy, so don't mind her. But like I was saying, I've just had this concealer for quite some time and I'm not really using it, so I'm gonna let her go. So now we're getting into the top 3. If these were gone from my collection, I literally would probably have a panic attack. These concealers I can mix in with any concealer. They're my go-to and I really enjoy them, okay? So for third place, we have the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealers, okay? Clearly I like them because I have 3 shades, okay? 3 different shades. So the first shade is 53.5N, and this concealer is too dark for me. The next shade is 34.5N, and the last shade is 26.5Y. And this is what it looks like. So 53N is definitely giving very much olive tone. This is more neutral, and then 26Y is more golden. So yeah, this shade has got to go. So I'm actually going to declutter just this one solely because of the color. This is definitely like the big sister to the Sephora Gel Serum, and they did their thing with this concealer. It's amazing. So many different skin types can wear this. So I would definitely recommend this if you were looking for a concealer and you had dry, oily, or combination skin. This concealer is great for all skin types, and that is why she's number 3. So number 2 goes to the Huda Beauty Full Filter Concealer. She is a full coverage concealer. I have the shades Brittle and Granola. I love just how small this is. It's easy to reach for, easy to grab, fits nice in my hand. The packaging is pretty cute. I like that it's square, so it stands out in my concealer collection. When you open her, the applicator is more innovative. It almost has like a microfiber feel, and then the wand has like that curved edge. It's not your typical triangular shaped. It's curved and round, and it fits perfectly underneath the eyes. Now this is more of a matte concealer compared to the Sephora Best Skin Ever, and this is what Brittle and Granola looks like. And honestly, if Fenty Beauty came out with a concealer that was just a little bit creamier, I feel like that's what this is giving. Like, this formula is so nice, so lightweight underneath the eyes. The Fenty one is like a little bit thicker and more of a whipped formula. But this one just glides on so nice underneath the eyes, and it has the coverage. It doesn't make my under eyes look dry, and it helps, you know, everything stay in place. So I love this concealer. My number one concealer goes to, I'm gonna let y'all guess what y'all think it is, and some of you might be shocked, some of you might not be, but my number one holy grail concealer that I would recommend for anybody, for all skin types, that is just amazing, okay? And that concealer is gonna go to the Juvia's Place concealer, okay? I love her. She is thick, okay? This one is kind of old and she's having some packaging issues, just this one specifically. This one doesn't have any problems at all. So, you know, I like that the concealer top is orange, so it's vibrant. And I don't know, just seeing a colored top just really has me gravitating towards it, okay? All the other ones are black or white and they kind of just get lost in the collection, whereas this one stands out and I gravitate towards it. The applicator is very much thick, honey, and as you can see, the concealer actually absorbs into the applicator itself, so you don't have that extra pocket of concealer, so you can really disperse as much concealer as you want using the whole wand rather than just that one section. I don't really need to dip back in. The shades that I use are number 12 and 16. As you can see, the swatches, the wand is super thick, so it's covering more area underneath the eyes, and the tones and shades are really nice. It's not too drying or anything. It's super lightweight and it's affordable, so it's not going to break the bank, okay? So I have purchased this concealer 3 times and I love it. I especially love this number 12 shade. It's perfect, okay, for cleaning underneath my brows. It's perfect for doing a more natural under eye highlight without being too bright, but on those days when I want that extra little pop, that extra little pizzazz, that's when number 16 comes in. As far as the Jaclyn Cosmetics concealers, I did put this in my maybe pile, and I've decided that I'm going to keep them, okay? I do like to use them to clean up the brows, and I love to mix this with the Juvia's Place concealer. So out of my concealers, I am decluttering 9. Okay, that is a lot for me. So I'm decluttering 9 and I'm keeping 14 concealers. All the concealers that I don't gravitate towards or I'm not using, they gotta go. That concludes my concealer ranking / declutter. Which concealers do you think I should have kept and which ones would you have gotten rid of? Let me know in the comments down below, but I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys.